onto Hawkins Street. Then turn left onto Headley Drive.
Not Lawler yet. Or Lloyd or anybody else. But John Vaughn was...
Turn left onto Hadley Drive.
And so, yeah, it's a valid question.
Okay, so the doctor was there in 2003, yeah.
248-539.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
A question that's answered by the initial investigation from the law firm is they interviewed hundreds of people. Are any of those victims that have filed lawsuit or about to? Did it happen? Was it all the way up into the 2000s when this happened?
Yeah, the one thing I continue going back to...
At the stop sign, turn left onto Kramer Drive.
Right? Michigan needs to cut out the entire thing. You have to investigate all of it. You have to do your best to unearth everything. Now, in some cases, there's nobody there to provide a defense because they're not alive anymore. But I've said it hundreds of times.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Bannister Drive.
Allegation as best you can. Otherwise, this lingers and drags on. And putting your name on a letter like this, you better not have anybody ever having joked with you about it. Doesn't get like locker room talk. I said a few days ago. I want to collectively, as a gender, put a pause on locker room talk. Because locker room talk, you know, that can be stuff that's used as evidence. And I'm not saying that's anything wrong with
Turn
that,
left onto Bannister Drive. Then turn right onto Hunter Drive.
Better be careful what you say. Because it's distasteful stuff that basically it's been said you can get away with it when you're in the locker room. I think participation in that should be cut back, especially if something like this ever comes to fore.
Yeah.
248-539-9797.
Turn right onto Hunter Drive. Then turn left onto 21 Mile Road.
It's back. Detroit's first, best, and only PGA Tour event. The Rocky Orange Classic.
At the stop sign, turn left onto 21 Mile Road.
See world-class golfers Bryson, Ricky, Bubba, and Harold. Make unforgettable memories. Experience the highlight of the summer. This is the PGA Tour Detroit.
In 1.1 miles, turn left onto Van Dyke Avenue.
Classic.com.
At the next light, turn left.
Visit USPS.com/UROCS, the United States Postal Service.
Get Dad the perfect gift now at Macy's Father's Day sale with an extra 25% off his favorite designers with your coupon or Macy's card. That's on top of already great deals for him, like swim from Clubroom starting at $9.99, and his new favorite jeans just $19.99, or shop specials like 50%
At the
off
light,
Volvo
turn
watches.
left onto Van Dyke Avenue.
Even faster with same-day delivery powered by DoorDash. Now at Macy's. Savings off regular sale clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
Want a new car, but you need someone who cares about you and your situation? Come see us today at Lalonde Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in beautiful Imlay City, Michigan, or click LaLondeChrysler.com.
Do you know youth in grades 8 through 12? If so, the Detroit Urban League invites these students to join our College Club, which over the past 32 years has annually assisted hundreds of students prepare for college and successfully apply for valuable scholarships.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Rivera of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, call 877-734-2200.
This hour's ticket signing bonus keyword is stunt. Text stunt to 72881 for your chance at $1,000.
much painting these people with these accusations as liars, and I will tell you that I don't think this does any good. And there might be a time that it seems appropriate to come out and support in mass support of Bo. This doesn't feel
In
like it's
2.7 miles, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto 18.5 Mile Road.
Right now also doesn't seem like it's and that the point that John Vaughn's calmed the waters a little bit was I thought it was amazing way I felt when I heard what he had to say, which was look, Bo did a lot for me. This did happen. We carry lessons in my life, but this did happen.
It's like that part of it speaks to us in our lessons in life. That part speaks to people that say this thing.
Lane closure ahead on Van Dyke Ave in a quarter mile. The right lane is closed.
I've kind of come to the acknowledgement that a guy that I looked up to growing up as an Ann Arbor kid really did some bad stuff. And it's not easy. I wonder if anybody that signed this letter will ever fall. And can you be like John Vaughn and say, there was some bad here, and that's what I should dealt with. And the man did a lot of good for me in my life too. And I love that story. Did so much for me. But you acknowledge that this could have happened. When you sign a letter like this, it sounds like you can't.
Basically, what John Vaughn, when he came out and said, and the way that he said it, my interpretation of it is that he doesn't want Bo's legacy to be defined either way. It's all a part of it.
Well,
The good and the bad, that's the part of everybody. Instead, what typically happens is there's a whole lot of, we're just talking about sports. There's always a great discussion about what's this person's legacy going to be? What's this and what's that? In some instances, you think about, what's Dan Orlovsky's legacy? Does it come down to running out of the end zone? No, but that's what a lot of people remember him for. It's not right, because there's a heck of a lot more than just the one play that happened. Just like there's a lot more than what perhaps with Bo with the knowledge. It's a bad thing. It's an awful thing. And for me, not being a Michigan fan, I'm not looking past that. But I'm also not. I'm not being too obtuse to recognize that so many people revered the guy that played for him. But there is another side. There are two sides.
there are two sides, but like the one side now needs to be dealt with.
Yes.
And acknowledged and dealt with, and that's up to the University of Michigan to figure out how to do that. And I don't know if we can do it quickly, but do it appropriately in terms of available counseling. Obviously, there's going to be a monetary payout here, but I mean, even Vaughn suggesting that Michigan and the Big Ten and the NCAA set up a nonprofit that can help battle stuff like this is something else that Dennis Jr. is credible. Like, it came across as very credible to me, and I would have a hard time signing a letter saying, no, that never happened. 248-539-9797. Diane in Belleville. Hi, Diane.
And I think what some people are missing is that it's extremely difficult for women to come forward. I know that if you think of young girls, think about it with young boys and young men. Not only is it really, really difficult, but the time period when all this is going on, there's so much very macho. You know, to have something like this happen, you tell somebody, all of a sudden you got the locker room talk. Well, it happened to you because you're gay. Or, you know, you did something. Same thing is with women, but with boys and with young men, to just think they're going to come forward and say, oh yeah, by the way, this guy molested me, is unrealistic. They're not going to do it. They're not encouraged to do it. It makes them look weak, unmanly.
Don't disagree at all, Diane. I mean, look, it's tough enough we know what happens when women come forward, oftentimes, especially against a celebrity or an athlete. People immediately start assassinating their character. We've seen it happen. And when that happens, it makes it more difficult for the next one to come forward. That's why they're coming forward now to answer the question. There is support. There is people listening. There is a community that's not shunning them. And so that's why, I know people want life and haven't come forward with these kinds of accusations for their own reasons. It's incredible. And on top of that, if you do it with somebody famous, people are going to come after you. They're just going to support that person no matter what. And I guess that's what's happening with this letter. Because the ramifications of your name into that letter if you really do something, I hope everybody in that letter really knew that. And they not only did it not happen to them, they were joking about it. I hope for their sake. And maybe that's the it's awfully normal to dismiss all the accusations that people can say that they told them or can't ignore. 2:45 p.m. is the next set. I'm really going to sell your next time, Mike.
In 1 mile, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto 18.5 Mile Road.
You consider it devastating level, does that make sense to you? Like, you consider somebody that lets it go, they might as well be guilty of the same crime. Does that make sense?
Are you saying should Bo be?
In the same category as the doctor that was abusing these student athletes.
I think it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, I agree. And I got it. When Joe Paterno and Larry Nance and all them, ESPN, it was all over. I barely have seen any coverage of this on ESPN. Does this going to have some sort of grip on the network or something? I might have read this coverage of the 97 particular story. Does that make sense?
I think you're going to see proof. I think we're in the infancy stages of this story from a national perspective. Don't doubt that there'll be all these guys will be interviewed and it'll be out there.
Yeah, I think it seems maybe it's unprotected right now. But I'm with you. I think that this because of Michigan's brand, there's going to be plenty of national.
They like bringing down the big ones. The media, if the bigger the name, the more they'll go after. I think it's just sit tight if that's what you're looking for. Steve, what is something, Steve?
The bottom line is this. Something that 2021 to 1950. Nobody should have to go through this. These people have to live with this the rest of their life.
had I ever heard this? I must have never heard it even joked about. To sign out.
Yeah, I can't. The water, to me, the more time this is sinking in and narrating, it's
At the light, use the right lane to take a slight left turn onto Mound Road.
completely tone deaf.
Michigan
to what
accepted the
happened.
William Hale investigation. And in that investigation, there was said, players went to ball. Now, the like I said, looking at through 2021 glasses, there's some truth to that. But throughout the course of that time, things change, people change. We talk about the Revenge of the Nerds analogy, which was there's a mix. There's videos with guys set up with video camera systems in a sorority house. It was a mainstream, I don't know if it was like Warner Brothers, whoever did, mainstream movie people laughed at in our lifetime. How would that movie go over today? Carson Anderson, 97 on the team.
I'm Jeff Lesson, and Lesson on Golf is back. Just accept it. Our 25th year bringing you the best deals in golf right now at LessonOnGolf.com. Lesson on Golf, Sunday, 8 a.m. 97.1 The Ticket.
This is Andrew Bogish with an Odyssey Sports Minute. It's probably time to erase untradeable contract from our vocabulary. Today's reported Kemba Walker Al Horford trade is double proof that any contract can be moved. Horford signed for 4 years and $109 million with the Sixers back in 2019. That untradeable contract has now gone from Philly to Oklahoma City to Boston. Walker is shaky knees, and a 4-year, $140 million deal are now in OKC and could definitely get moved again. The NFL is going through a similar
In a quarter mile,
players used to be
turn right
untradeable
onto 18
for
Mile
dead
Road.
money and move and leave on a team's salary cap. Now the Eagles winning $33 million because of Carson Wentz. It's almost $25 million for the Rams because of Jared Goff, and $38 million for the Packers, trading out Rodgers if necessary.
Turn right onto 18 Mile Road.
Get more miles on the road with O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better gas mileage for your car.
In
Right
12
now at
miles,
O'Reilly Auto
turn
Parts,
right
get
onto
2
Telegraph
bottles of
Road.
Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $8. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. For a clean, lubricated, more fuel-efficient system, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to PrilosecOTC.com. You get $3 off to get you started. Plus, 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to PrilosecOTC.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers keep you up to date with what's happening in the deal. This week, enjoy some baseball, camping, and a movie under the stars at the USBBL Family Campout. For more stories like these, head over to ChevyDetroit.com.
Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers are ready to get your weekend started with the Chevy Blazer. Blazer is the midsize SUV you've been looking for. Its bold design and athletic stance will turn heads wherever you go. Its roomy interior offers seating for up to 5 passengers. Plus, the available cargo management system keeps everything in its place. Chevy Blazer. It's one tough beauty. Hurry into your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers and lease a 2021 Blazer 2LT front-wheel drive for just $219 a month for 24 months. Put it in deep and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. Leases for a 2021 Blazer 2LT front-wheel drive for 24 months, 10,000 miles per year. For well-qualified customers with a GM lease in the household. $1229 due at lease signing after all offers plus title tax and non-fees. No security deposit. Program subject to change without notice and certain restrictions may apply. See participating dealer for details. Offer ends June 30th, 2021.
Radio.com is now Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app and listen to 97.1 The Ticket and all the sports, news, music, and podcasts that move you.
he didn't, do this for a year or two at a time, and he backed off from it, and then he did it again. So maybe they didn't really totally do it. So I think that if you look at a monster, I think that they are smart, and when they look at this thing like this, that they just step back on it for a little bit and then go back at it again.
Well, here's what I think is true, Joe. I think the people that signed that letter, I don't think that they feel like they were sexually abused by the guy. That's what I think, right? So, but you know what they can't do? They can't speak on behalf of someone who felt like they were.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point you make, Chuck, because, look, I don't know, the people that signed the letter, I can't speak for them either. Like, they had their own experiences, and if their own experiences are, this didn't happen to me, I don't think I was sexually abused, and none of my teammates talked about it for a period of time that I was there. Okay, but if you sign your letter, like a letter, damn well better be true. Because if any of your other teammates that knew you could come out and say, what happened to me and I told you about it, or we talked about it in the locker room, or guys were uncomfortably joking about this.
Right. Obviously. So I just think that you guys are covering it. Thank you for covering it. I'm a Michigan fan. I went to Michigan State, even though I went to Michigan State. But at the same time, this is going to get blown up. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
There are always different sides to the story. It's like when you meet somebody and you say, oh yeah, I met this dude or I met this girl, and somebody who also knows the person, oh, I hate that person. Well, why? Well, they're just mean. Well, they weren't to me. You have two different perspectives. Yeah, you told me. When this all started a couple weeks back, I said to you, can you imagine somebody you knew and looked up to and respected finding out later that they were accused of something horrific? How difficult it would be to accept. And without going into detail, you basically said, yeah, I know. I've had that experience. I have not. I can only imagine. But I don't know how you can hold your head in the sand and say, all these people are wrong. I don't know how you can do that. I just don't know how you can do that. And you can say, how about, could you say it's completely out of character? Completely out of character. Everything he taught me, completely out of character. Well, I mean, I hate the phrase, that's not the Bo that I knew, but I understand it too, because to these people, fair enough, that's not the guy that you knew. These stories you're hearing are one completely contrary to what you knew. But what you knew and what they knew, you have to acknowledge, you don't know what they knew. Completely different. Be completely different. You know, I say all the time, people ask me, hey, who's the coolest guy you've met in sports, or what player do you like, and did you ever have a bad experience with a player? And every time it comes to the bad experience, I always say, there's one guy, it was Mark Messier. Messier was a jerk, complete jerk to me in the locker room one day. But does that mean he is a jerk? No, it means my experience with him wasn't good. Doesn't mean everybody else who talked with him will go, oh, Mess is great. Fair enough for you, but for me it wasn't. But you don't know what I went through, and I don't know what you guys went through. 248-539-9797. Let's go to Joe in Roseville. You're next. Hey, Joe.
Hey. My dad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's go ahead, Joe.
Okay, it's kind of windy here in Roseville, so sorry. But, yeah, this article, I like to let people know that one was a sibling, one was a girl. I'm 50 now. It took over 20-some years for both of them to come out. They got full victims, full predators. They are in jail. But these people that call in, it's never happened to me, so I don't know how long it will take, but these callers don't have no idea that why do you want to wait 30 years? That's sometimes what happens. And my dad is still alive, and I was so young. When my sister came home, and she's 55 now, this was in elementary that all my siblings went to. My dad went right up there and knocked that teacher out and walked right out of the building. And like I said, it took 20-some years. he did go to jail. So for even Bo's stepkid to come home and him to not supposedly go and grab this guy for a minute, these callers are ridiculous. You guys do an awesome story. I listen to you guys 24/7. And these callers, they call in on you guys, man, that, like,
It was one caller.
you know, it's...
All right, Joe. It was one caller who said they doesn't know why they're coming forward now, and I
That
my
one caller
response.
speaks for a lot of people.
Well,
you know,
maybe.
exaggerate.
Yeah, I know people, too many, that never came forward. Have never come forward. Never. And they're coming forward because somebody will listen. Would it change if people would listen to the people that I know that this happened to? It might. It might. They might have moved on from it. They might be, it might be, I don't know how they're dealing with it, but I just say that when people start listening, and you start having an audience, I think it's pretty simple to explain. Let's take one more. Let's go to Al at MC. Hi, Al.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. There was a caller previous to the one you just talked to. He was bringing up a good point about how these predators know who are vulnerable and who isn't. And when we hear of foreign players that say, didn't have that experience, it's just, these predators are truly monsters. And they just know and recognize who they can take advantage of and who they can't. And I think some of the culture that you see in the locker room, which I'm a former football player, is that you've got second string, you've got third string, you've got these type of players that the coaches are just going to browbeat down when these type of issues come up, especially during that time.
Now, you in the locker room, you were in a Michigan.
No, I wasn't a Michigan.
I mean, do you remember locker room?
The hierarchy in a locker room. There you've got your team captain, your starters, you've got the guys that come in off the bench, second string, third string, and in college, how many players are on a team? 100 at Michigan? They don't have a voice the way some of these guys, like the team captains might, like a Harbaugh might, who's not going to have those experiences, perhaps. God forbid if that ever happened.
All right, thank you, Al. Mike and Rico on deck. Gentlemen?
Yeah, Yeah. Hey, Doug. Another show sheet that I had to crumple up about an hour ago and go, okay, all the fun stuff out the window.
And I fought hard to keep that show sheet.
I know you did. No, you two are nailing it. I mean, Scott just with a great example about Messier. Doug, I think you've had several poignant things to say. It's just, how the hell are we here? And if you're Michigan, when are you going to unify your message and stop this? This is it's just reaching a point of insanity. You're inciting victims. It's crazy.
So I was thinking about the Michigan, like the most powerful person right now is Mark Schlissel, university president. And what is he being told by attorneys that is preventing him from coming out with a unifying message? Right? Why has that not happened? Because there could be something said about, we are all over this, we are investigating everything, we are going to make sure we're going to do as thorough a job as possible, and vet every case.
I think the most powerful person,
I guess, on paper is Schlissel, but I don't think that he is the most powerful person on campus, right?
Well, I think if he comes forward and says this is our unifying message, then everybody has to fall in line. Or
here's an idea. The problem, Doug, and Doug, you might be right. The problem is you have this collection of approaches by defenders. This has to stop. Like, whether everything's right behind the scenes or it's not, what hit the Free Press today has to stop. That's insane.
Gator had a great, I want to get you guys' perspective on this. I haven't had a chance to talk to you what you had to say about it. John Vaughn, to me, came across as very credible. Now, he may not be, but he came across that way to me, and his Gators terminology kind of calmed the waters a little bit, and then this.
Right.
effects. Stay safe, everyone. Medicine.
We asked people in Michigan why they got the COVID-19 vaccine.
Because I am 24 weeks pregnant and we wanted to protect our baby boy.
I'm vaccinated to protect my family, protect my friends, and help our community.
Because I believe in the science.
Why did you get vaccinated?
My best friend couldn't. She caught COVID and passed away the day before her birthday. That is my why.
Be able to hug my mom again. I haven't been able to hug her in over a year.
I want to hug my grandma again.
Not ready to get back to somewhat normal.
All the vaccines have been tested for safety and are trusted by doctors.
I'm vaccinated. I'm coming to give you a big hug. I love you, Mom.
You've got your why. Now find a vaccine near you at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right where your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Having your own home is awesome, but it's also a lot of work. The good news, finding help for your projects is easier than ever. Introducing Angie, the app that puts all your home care needs at your fingertips. Need a pro to fix that emergency leak? Maybe find someone to build a deck, or even set your seasonal tasks on autopilot. Angie can handle all that and more. Expert pros, hundreds of home projects, clear pricing, and the easiest way to book and pay in seconds. This is Angie, your home for everything home. Download the app today.
The Ram Spotlight Sales Event is going on at Kelly and his Van Dyke Dodge and Orr. You can lease a Ram 1500 Bighorn for only $159 per month at Dodge.com. For monthly employee leases with $29.95 due signing, all payments to the overtime to credit approval.
Last year, 97 won the Ticket Student Heart Check program detected over 150 student athletes who needed a follow-up with a cardiologist to ensure they have a healthy heart. Make time to have your child checked. Contact the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. You could win the Ticket signing bonus, $1,000 11 times each weekday. Powered by BetQL. Win more and cash in more with the help of BetQL. Download the BetQL app today to learn more. That's BETQL. Listen for the keyword at 1/2 each hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Text that keyword to 72881 before the end of that hour. Message and data reply, and you could win a $1,000 signing bonus on 97.1 The Ticket. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Roxy Sports Desk. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Jose Urena will look to pick up his first win since May 21st as he leads the Tigers against the Los Angeles Angels in Game 2 of that 4-game weekend series tonight in Anaheim. The Angels will counter this evening with right-hander Alex Scott. Our coverage starts at 9:15. On the latest edition of a podcast that's hosted every week by the NFL Network's Michael Silver, 49ers tight end George Kittle said that while everyone else was making fun, Lions head coach Dan Campbell's comments about biting kneecaps during his introductory news conference, he liked hearing Campbell talk about his players working hard but having fun while they practice.
Work as hard as you want, but you're having fun doing it too. That's what makes it okay to do that stuff. So like, as long as you don't have the mindset like you're just gonna suffer every single day, like, let's have some fun a little bit. Like, that's kind of, I love that stuff. So I liked it a lot when I found that clip, and I wish that would circulate a little bit more because I thought that was pretty cool.
If you want to connect the dots on this one, Kittle is scheduled to be a free agent after the 2025 season. In the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, Montreal will skate against Vegas in Game 3 of that semifinal series. Over in the NBA playoffs, the LA Clippers battle Utah. Atlanta takes on Philadelphia. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
All right, let's jump in on a Friday. Good to have you aboard. Rico, there's really no time to delay. I mean, I know how you're doing, and I know we had a plan for today. I know what we wanted to do. I know we had about 11 topics and ideas and things
we were going to do that all went out the window about an hour ago because Michigan just keeps stepping in it. So I'll give you my opening thought on this, and if you're wondering what it is, Doug and Scott did a very nice job with it, and we're going to continue that. Here's where I'm at an hour into the Free Press obtaining a letter signed by Jack Harbaugh, Dan Dierdorf, Jim Brandstatter, a collection of Jim Hackett, a collection of Wolverines. It's a letter 100 deep, and it is the gold standard of victim shaming. It is the gold standard of the polite way to tell the victims they're liars. And it's disgusting on every level. And I don't know how much longer the University of Michigan is going to allow members of the Michigan football family to go out and incite and aggravate and antagonize or outright call the victims liars. But that happened again today. And at some point, somebody from the University of Michigan has to get this largely senile group of victim-shaming, sycophantic nutcases to stop with the defense of a dead guy. Cut it out. This letter today is unbelievable, except it's totally believable because this continues to happen. We just had John Vaughn come in, and there was a calming influence there. It's a terrible, terrible tragedy what happened to him. But he talked about needing to heal, needing to get together. This is what we need from the university. And the University of Michigan is basically following Michigan State's playbook. They're following the Joe Pa playbook. It's delusion. This letter obtained by the Free Press, I will eventually get to reading the whole thing to you. But it just goes a little something like this. We, the former players, coaches, and staff who played and worked with Bo in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we saw Bo in victory and defeat in front of crowds. In this quiet moment of reflection, many of us met him for the first time in our parents' living room when we were barely old enough to vote, and most stayed in touch with him right up until his death. Our experiences tell us Bo Schembechler, that we knew, would never tolerate any abuse or mistreatment of players, staff, or any other individual. We believe firmly, if he were aware of such behavior, Schembechler would have acted immediately to put a stop to it. And we want to be clear, we are sympathetic to all victims in sex abuse. No, you're not. Why don't you just leave the sentence out of there, fellas? Because here's the deal. Hey, Rico, amen. Just don't patronize the victims with that. You're not. You don't believe their stories. You are putting your experience above theirs. And you are, for as much as these sycophantic nutbags want to say, well, Bo's not here to defend himself, you're not only taking that role, you are acting as authorities on what he absolutely, with zero doubt, zero room for error, what he absolutely would have done. And I will tell you this.
At the next light, turn right.
For people attaching their entire credibility to this letter, good luck. If I were Michigan, if I were Learfield Sports, I would fire my broadcast crew. Brandstatter and Dierdorf would both be gone. What are you two doing? You may have doubts about the victims. You may have a different opinion. Do us a solid. We're in a mediation. It's not going well. You know what? Don't put on a bandana, don't have a torch, and don't yell "follow me to freedom" while you essentially call the victims liars. In our opinion, he would have been outraged. He would have acted immediately. It is reasonable to assume that Coach Schembechler, like many at the time, believed the physicals were not abusive, but rather performed in accordance with standard protocol. You mean like when John Vaughn was at the podium, it's standard protocol to collect sperm samples from your football players? You mean if I go in for a sore throat, it's standard for somebody to check my prostate? Wait, I know. I've had lots of physicals where the doctor has blown on my penis. What are we doing here? Do you honestly believe that the people coming forward are doing this for bleeps and giggles? A couple of dollars? Doing this because it's fun? Settle the score?
Use the left lane to make a U-turn at South Pemberton Road.
Look, this is the equivalent if the Free Press or another outlet called up people who had dinner with Larry Nassar and said, Lair, what a good guy, didn't rape me. No, didn't attack my daughter's vagina. Good guy. Why are you writing this? This is drivel.
Let's take it to a different level. Take it to a different level, Mike. How about this? Every young lady who got examined by Larry Nassar probably didn't get abused. There are some who actually went in there and just got an examination or just got some type of a therapy session. That's like saying, oh, well, because it didn't happen to me, it didn't happen. And that's what you're hearing. That's the tone-deaf letter that came out of the University of Michigan. Didn't happen to me, so apparently it didn't happen. I'm all for people with sexual abuse, but it didn't happen here. Sit in a room with Giovanni Johnson, sit in the room with all the survivors, sit in the room with the gentleman who called our show yesterday, and you all tell them to their face, I heard your story, I feel sympathetic to you, but guess what? That's not the bow that I need. The bow that I need would have put it into it, so guess what? What happened didn't really happen to you. So I don't know why you're doing this, why you're trying to bring down the great name of Michigan and the great name of Bo, but we're not going to stand for this. The sad reality is this. Everybody who signed this letter, you have more sympathy and compassion for a dead guy than people who are alive, who are still suffering from the repercussions of what happened to them. Actual survivors who you can reach out to, who you can talk to, who you can hug. No. You choose to rally around the flag of Bo and say, not me. 248-539-9797. I mean, when is Michigan going to stop their sycophantic fringe from being their spokesperson? Look, better to say nothing than to allow this to be the discourse. Because right now, you have, Jim Brandstatter is the voice of Michigan. Jack Harbaugh putting his name to a letter. You know who's not in this letter? Jim. The idea that this is the messaging, and it's not from the university in an official capacity, I really don't know what to say. Hey, I understand a lot of people love Bo. A lot of people love Joe Paterno too. And your relationship with him may have been special. This is what we talked about towards the end of the show yesterday. The human existence is a complex one. It's complicated, and many things can be true. So it's totally plausible that Bo could be a good coach, also have had a positive impact on many people, and empowered a sexual predator for 40 years. Those are all possible. And not everyone knew him on every level. And Rico just said it. When you allow these people and their unbridled arrogance, I mean, it is unbridled arrogance to just go out, pen a letter, and say, hey, I know, victims, blah, blah, blah. But if he knew, it didn't happen. It wouldn't have happened. So then what are you telling me? You're telling me these people bearing their souls are liars. This is one of the most disgusting weeks in the history of the University of Michigan, based on what they are allowing. And look, no offense, Brandstatter is a paid employee. Michigan's allowing it as long as he's employed. He should be terminated. Dan Deerdorf, you want to put your letter to this? Your name to this letter? Thanks for playing. Bye. I'll be damned if anyone who draws a paycheck making money off of my product or makes money directly because I pay them is going to be sending this message out. This is not the time to defend a bag of dust 6 feet under the ground. There has not been even a semblance of a unified message from this university that says, we acknowledge we effed up. We acknowledge we've got to get this right. We acknowledge that we have to get more answers. The best we got, Rico, was, yeah, doctor left a while ago, dead guy. Or the sycophant fringe going out saying the Bo I knew, ... or if Bo knew, it didn't happen. I have never in my life, never, and we are now a decade into these scandals breaking in college sports. Rico, I've never seen this level of unbridled arrogance, this level of recklessness, and frankly, just this tolerance by the media to allow these people to do it. Yesterday, we read a column about how the Bo thing. Let's focus on the doctor. Hey, Mitch, did you hear John Vaughn say, yeah, I'd like to know where my sperm sample went? Why is the football doctor doing sperm samples? Oh, wait, basic physical, right, boys? When is the media going to speak up and begin attacking these people? You know what's funny, Rico? The victims have been attacked more than the people doing the attacking. How is that?
You know what? You bring up a great point. Here's the reason.
In 1 mile, turn right onto West 13 Mile
Penn
Road.
State may have been the most tone deaf I've ever seen. When you had Franco Harris and Jay Paterno come out there, not Joe, but eventually Sandra Mines came in and said, guys, let it go. We're taking it down. We're moving on. This was bad. We're not on our watch. We're going to own this. But right now, you're right. Victims are being more scrutinized than the people who shouldn't. But you know what? Well, they're dead, so what do you want us to do? But we're going to protect that legacy because this didn't happen at Michigan because we knew the Bo, and Bo would have never done this, guys. How many times have you seen or heard people lead a different life than the one that they portray? And guess what?
It's a cult, Rico. It's a cult. Okay, for all of you who've always laughed when I've called Michigan a cult, yeah, well, it took 20 years, but I think I proved it to you. And for those of you who laugh and argue there's no blue wall, and argue they're not afforded protected status, and argue that the media is not compromised, I'll say it to you again. Look at what we're talking about. We've just scrapped our entire show sheet because a letter featuring heavy hitters, Jack Harbaugh, Jim Brandstad, Dan Deerdorf, former AD Jim Hackett, have basically penned a letter saying, if Bo knew, he never would have allowed it. Ergo, he didn't know, and you're lying. That's what it says. So spare me we feel sorry for victims too. No, you don't. No, you don't. And Rico nailed it. You know what we ought to do? We should have a jamboree. We should get Gilvani Johnson and John Vaughn and the victims and put them in the room with these big Bo fans. Call these men liars to their faces at this point. Because here's what's happening, people. You know, Bo had a book called Lasting Lessons of Leadership. You know, and I think I've learned a lesson from Bo. The team really meant the brand. You have people rallying around the brand at all costs. They are calling victims
The destination
liars.
is on your right.
They are putting their head in the sand. They are whistling by the graveyard. It has already been proven that Bo knew. It's already shown up in the report. You're already having more people come out. And it's not a criminal trial. It is more probable than not Bo Schembechler knew something was amiss with his medical doctor. We don't know the depths that he knew, but we know he knew. And yet, this university has no control over its football family, and they are running roughshod. Unbelievable on a Friday. 248-539-9797. The complete letter, we can give it to you. But it's unbelievable. Oh, if he knew. The Bo I knew. You're politely saying you didn't, and you're calling these guys liars. It's incredible. So my question to Michigan fans is simple. When is this university going to have a unified message and stop inflaming and inciting victims? Seriously.
They don't, Mike. No one eats their own quite like the University of Michigan.
248-539-9797. Let me tell you about Northfield Lumber.